Good morning, students. Today we will be dealing with our unit number 5 of the text Beehive, and the chapter from unit number 5 is the snake and the mirror. Now this chapter is written by V.M. Bashir. Now it is again a new humoristic story. Before to this we have enjoyed in the Kingdom of Fools, one more humoristic story we had enjoyed, and now we are going to enjoy this, the snake and the mirror. It's completely a humorous story, and it is related with the experiences of a doctor, a homeopathy doctor. Now let us go with the text, what exactly it is. Before you read, before starting, we will go with this part before you read. Do you like to look at yourself in the mirror? That's not a question to be asked. Everyone likes to look into the mirror, right? What do you think about at such times? Have you ever seen a dog, a cat, or a bird look into a mirror? What do you think it sees? Now it's common for all of us, all the human beings, that we some other time in the sense many a times we feel to go in front of mirror and see how we look, right? It's a common appeal to our heart to look into mirror. So it's very common. But can we imagine if suppose an animal is watching into a mirror, what exactly he might be watching there? What exactly the animal might be thinking? Have you ever seen a dog or a cat watching himself or herself into the mirror? What exactly they might be feeling when they are watching? Or what exactly they might be looking into the mirror? Okay, for us it's okay that we are looking to our head, face, lips and all, right? But what exactly if an animal is looking into a mirror? So it's a chapter which is related with one of the incidents what this doctor had experienced, and we will go with it, and let us continue now. Now read this humorous story about a doctor, a snake and a mirror. Now it is very clearly mentioned in the second point that this story is completely related with what? A doctor. Second one, it's a snake, and third one, it's the mirror. As exactly it is disclosed in the title itself, we can say. Now let us go with the paragraph number 1 on page number 56. Has a snake ever coiled itself round any part of your body? My God, this is a horrible question, right? Even we can't think of this. But the writer has popped a question that has a snake ever coiled itself around any part of your body? A full-blooded cobra. All of us fell silent. The question came from the homeopath. The topic came up when we were discussing snakes. We listened attentively as the doctor continued with his tale. Now tale means, story. T-A-L-E. So tell me story. Now see, this is a discussion between a homeopath doctor and his friends. They are sitting and they were discussing on a topic, snakes, and suddenly he could remember the things, or he could remember his experience, what he had experienced, who the doctor had experienced, and he is sharing his experience with his friends. So what was his first question to his friends? That has a snake ever coiled itself round any part of your body? So he is questioning to his friends. And a full-blooded cobra, and the snake was cobra. My God, it's really horrible to even to think. So all of us fell silent. The question came from a homeopath doctor, and this was the question popped by the homeopath doctor. Then the topic came up when we were discussing snakes, and suddenly this topic has come up when they all were discussing, all the group of friends was discussing about the snakes. Then and we listened attentively, and the doctor continued with his tale. And his friends were listening him very attentively, and this doctor was continuing with his story. Now, what was the story? Let us read and find out what exactly he has experienced there. It was a hot summer night, about 10 o'clock. I had my meal at the restaurant and returned to my room. I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. The sound was a familiar one. One could say that the rats and I shared the room. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. The house was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just sent a medical practice and my earnings were meager. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase, along with some shirts and dhotis. I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing. Now, this is all the description of the house of the author. Author, the doctor, or the person who is relating the story, we can say. And what was the condition, what was the situation of the house? He is very clearly mentioning that it was a rented room and it was not electrified. Okay, so we can think that, we can come to know that the story is not the recent one. It's a long back story. Because see, the situation of the room and the explanation what he is giving, how he is describing, on the basis of all this description we can come to know this is a long back story, it's not the recent one. And being a doctor's rented room means, again we can guess that it is a story of not the recent one. Then it was a hot summer night about 10 o'clock and he is very exactly giving us timing, and it was a summer night and he had come back from the restaurant finishing his meal, and he had opened the door, and what he could hear the noise of the rats. And he is very clearly explaining that this room was shared between these two, rats and the doctor. Means this we can come to know that the condition of the room was really very worst. Okay, then I heard a noise from above as I opened the door. So when he opened the door, he could hear some noise, and the noise was the regular one. He was habituated of the noise, and the noise was of rats. I just set up I opened the door. The sound was familiar one. One could say that the rats and I shared the room. I took out my box of matches and lighted the kerosene lamp on the table. So as the room was not electrified, so he took out the matchsticks and he had lighted the lamp. Then the house was not electrified. It was a small rented room. I had just set up medical practice and my earnings were meager. So he is very clearly explaining that I had just set up my medical practice, means he had just initiated his practice. He was not a strong practitioner. He has just started his practice and his earnings were meager. Meager means what? Very limited, in small amount. Okay, so his earnings were meager. I had about 60 rupees in my suitcase, and he was just having a very small amount in his suitcase, in his briefcase, and it was just of 60 rupees. Then along with some shirts and what was his belongings, the room was shared with the rats. It was non-electrified. He was having kerosene lamp in it, and the next thing is that he was having just a small amount of 60 rupees with him, and along with some shirts and dhotis. He was wearing dhoti, means again we can come to know that the story is long back before 80 to 90 years. So along with some shirts and dhotis, I also possessed one solitary black coat. Solitary means only, single. Okay. So I also possessed one solitary black coat which I was then wearing, and he said that I was having only one coat, I was wearing it, and that was black in color. So this is all whatever he was belonging with him, he is just explaining, giving the description of all those things. Now I took off my black coat, white shirt and not so white vest and hung them up. I opened the two windows in the room. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. It had a tiled roof with long supporting gables that rested on the beam over the wall. There was no ceiling. There was a regular traffic of rats to and from the beam. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down, but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. Taken time off is a phrase. Okay, I'll explain you what exactly it is. Now he is describing again the structure of the room, how it was constructed, what quality beam what kind of beam it was, and how the beams were full of rats. The traffic of rat was there every time. Then I took off my black coat. When he entered his room, he took off his black coat, white shirt and not so white vest, means it was dirty. Then and hung them up, and he had hanged them. I opened the two windows in the room. We can come to know that there are two windows in the room. He had opened it. It was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard. So it was the outer room, the front room in the, he was having two rented rooms. So the front room, and it was a front room and it was having one window to it, and the window was opening towards the yard, means towards the open space, the front side. Then it was an outer room with one wall facing the open yard, and the wall was facing the open it looks like tiles, okay, but they are not exactly tiles what we use right now, but they are tiled a wooden structure like. Then with long supporting gables. In the picture on page number 56 with explanation it is given, you can see that, and it was having gables, the gables were constructed there, and it has a tiled roof with long supporting gables and that rested on a beam, and this gables, that pillars were resting on a beam, okay. Then over the wall there was no ceiling. Ceiling was not there to the house, it may be like a sloping type structure, okay. So there was no ceiling there, and there was a regular traffic of rat to and from the beam, and the beam, the supporting of the gables, the beam was full of rats, because it was always having traffic of rats. They were moving here and there. I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall, and he pulled his bed and he made the bed close to the wall, because the wall was having a window to it and the window was opening into the yard. So he thought that he could get some cool air from outside. That is the reason he had pulled the bed next to the wall and he was trying to sleep. But because of the hot summer night he could not sleep. Then I made my bed and pulled it close to the wall. I lay down but I could not sleep. I got up and went out to the veranda for a little air. So he was not feeling comfortable there. So he came out of the room and he was just waiting for the air. But sorry for that he was unable to get it, but the wind god seemed to have taken time off. So taken time off means there was no wind. So this is the phrase which he has used here. So he was feeling that wind god was not happy that time, means the air was not blowing and he was suffering a lot. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book, the Materia Medica. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. A small comb lay beside the mirror. Now, he went into the room and he was getting bored, so he pulled out one box from beneath the table. There was a box kept under the table. He took it out and he took out one book from that. It was the book was Materia Medica. It is a medical science book, and he might be going through the pages. He might be starting there. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. So he kept the book on the table, and what already was present on the table, a lamp and a mirror. So it was a kerosene lamp, we can say, and a mirror was placed there. I opened it and at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror, a small comb lay beside the mirror, and a comb was lying there on the table near to the mirror. One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near one, and literally it's true. If a mirror is near to you, even if you are walking on the road, and if you could see that, you could see your face reflecting into any of the four-wheelers mirror or any of the two-wheelers mirror, definitely you are going to see that, right? Then one feels tempted to look into a mirror when it is near one. I took a look, and same with our writer, same with our doctor. He also saw into the mirror. Then, in those days, I was a great admirer of my beauty, and I believed in making myself look handsome. I was unmarried and I was a doctor. I felt I had to make my presence felt. I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. Again I heard the sound from above. Now, as anyone can get tempted if the mirror is near to us, same with our doctor, and he was more conscious of his beauty. As he was a doctor, he was feeling as he is more handsome, and he was trying to be more presentable, and that is the reason he decided, and he picked up the comb and he was parting his hairs. Parting means making it in a proper condition, and he was parting his hairs and hair, and I believe in making myself look handsome. And he was more confident in making himself more handsome by parting his hair and looking into the mirror. Then I was unmarried, and he was more happy that he is handsome, he is a doctor, and top to it he is unmarried. And I was a doctor. I felt I had to make my presence felt, and he is thinking that I should feel my presence in a beautifully, in a good way or in a handsome way. Then I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjusted the parting so that it looked straight and neat. And for the same sake, as he was feeling to be more presentable, more handsome, he started combing his hair. Again I heard the sound from above, and he could hear the sound from above. And now what exactly the sound was and what exactly he had experienced next, we are going to continue this thing in the next video. And till the time, whatever the new words you come across this in paragraph number 1, 2 and 3, and 4 as well. So whatever the new words you have come across in this 4 paras, you have to find out synonyms I am saying, not the meanings, synonyms of all these words, and note down in your notebooks. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Hope you understood all these things. Thank you.